I'm David Wilkinson, and thanks for joining us on the Finance Report. In just a moment, we'll be joined by my co-host Mallory Hoff and Jacksonville's retirement coach Adam Wolf. Today, we'll be discussing living the dream in retirement and why so many retirees are fearful they may be unable to. A lot of that stems from what's taking place, economic uncertainty, market volatility. We'll discuss those big risks and more. And then in 15 and 15, taxes and why the set it and forget it mentality might not be right for your plan.
You're watching the Finance Report, and as David just outlined, we have a lot to cover today. The retirement landscape has shifted, and a lot of pre-retirees are trying to figure out if they've saved enough. Joining us now is Jacksonville's retirement coach, Adam Wolf. Adam is an area-certified financial planner with more than 2 decades of financial services experience. He's the president of Wolf Retirement Navigation, a firm that focuses on helping people build smarter plans for a successful retirement. He's also a popular podcast host. Look, we all have kids here, and I think something we're hearing from a lot of people is, I thought I was going to be able to leave my kids a certain amount, but now I have to cover my monthly expenses, and the reality is, I just don't know what's going to be left over.
So let's start here, Adam. What do retirees need to know as they go into this type of situation?
Yeah, it's coming up with an overall plan, having a game plan for what you want to accomplish in retirement to cover the monthly expenses first and foremost, because that's, what it's all about.
Sure. Yeah.
And then anything left over, trips, entertainment, leaving something all out for the kids. It starts with the plan. It starts with what assets you've accumulated, what you've saved, other streams of income like Social Security, pensions, keeping as much money in your pocket through reducing fees within the overall plan, and reducing and eliminating as many taxes as possible.
So, Adam, this could be considered a pretty complicated time to be in retirement, to be nearing retirement. What questions are you getting a lot of right now from pre-retirees?
A lot of it is, have I saved enough?
Okay.
And can I retire? How much longer do I have to work? And then also, will I run out of money? I mean, those are the key questions that we answer and help people with on a daily basis.
Yeah, on a daily basis, you also meet with people that have already entered into retirement. Conversely, what questions are they asking you right now?
Yeah, so same questions, but will I run out of money? Based on a number of assets that they have, the pensions that they have, the Social Security that they have, are they spending too much in retirement? I get a lot of questions as well, is do I have enough to retire? And a lot of times we answer it, yes, you have enough and you're not spending enough. You may be being too conservative. And what did you do all those years to get to a point to save all that money to keep it on the shelf and not enjoying it? Not enjoying it in retirement. Enjoying it in retirement is the key.
Yeah, quality of life, certainly something we should all be chasing. And with that in mind, when is the appropriate time to actually start the planning process?
The sooner the better. And a lot of folks are, working, they're accumulating their money, they're saving. That's the plan. The plan is to save. But there'll be a point in time where you start thinking about, do I have enough to retire? It may be 5 years away, it may be 10 years away. I've had people come into my office, it's 30 days away. So, everybody's answer is a little bit different, but the sooner the better, so we can plan to make those days of retirement happen.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to put time on your side as you prepare for this next phase. I'm curious, a lot of what you're alluding to is almost having like a budget in retirement. I'm curious though, I imagine it'd be somewhat freeing for a retiree to get rid of the word budget from their vocabulary. Is there a way to have a retirement where you're not really having to be budget conscious?
You still need a budget. Okay. But I've seen budgets where people have built spreadsheets, multifaceted things, and all the way to, hey, the budget is in my brain, and to get it on paper is a big step. So everything in between, you want to have a budget to say, how am I going to pay my bills first and foremost, my living expenses first and foremost. Then we layer on top of that the fun stuff, the trips, the travel, the RVing, going to Europe, going to Caribbean, all those different things, cruising. So that is where you have your primary, and then you have your fun stuff on top of that. And that's how we layer it, because it's all about spending and enjoying your money in retirement, because you've worked too hard to get to that point for that to not happen.
That person who you just talked about who has the budget right up here, that sounds like a do-it-yourselfer. A lot of do-it-yourselfers out there, they think, I'm going to Google how to plan my own retirement. I'll go in a certain direction and hopefully I'll get close to where I need to be. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, so getting to retirement, it's really about just saving as much as possible. Being smart along the way, but saving. When you get to retirement, which is what we do and help our clients with, it's multifaceted.
Sure.
Now you're worried about not outliving your money and then running out of money and too much market risk and tax exposure, the tax cost of pulling money out of the IRAs, what's a Roth IRA and how do you pull money out of the Roth IRA, the timing of when you are turning your assets into income is extremely important and can be challenging if you do not have that background in it.
How does the tax game change once we enter into retirement?
It really doesn't change because you still have to pay your federal taxes.
Okay.
And most people still have a federal tax bill, whether they're working or when they're retired. It does, however, get a little bit complicated because most people have saved their money in buckets that have not been taxed yet. It's all deferred taxes. Most of the 401ks out there, you haven't paid taxes on it yet. Most of the IRAs, you haven't paid taxes on it. So the timing of pulling money out of those IRAs to then spend and enjoy is extremely, extremely key to make sure you time it right.
Adam, how often do you find that people think tax planning is really only for the super, super wealthy in this country, that others don't have that much to save?
Yeah, I see it a lot. It's almost like an afterthought. You know, most of the time we talk about federal taxes, it's April 15th and you're preparing the return and it's rear view mirror thinking for the previous year. Tax planning, however, is what are we going to do now and in the multiple years ahead to save the most amount of money in for your pocket, to keep more money in your pocket, to keep it legally out of the hands of our federal government.
Adam, as always, excellent information, and the time to act is now.
Indeed, today exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Adam has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, it's 904-872-6264. Once again, that number, 904-872-6264.
Your 401k, your IRA, your TSP, your FRS. For a lot of people in this country, the hope is that these accounts will sustain them in retirement. But will they? So, Adam, what do we need to be aware of in terms of all of these retirement accounts?
Well, there's multiple risks within almost every retirement account, but not every retirement account is created equal. So we look at the risks within IRAs, 401ks, FRS, we're looking at TSPs. They're tax deferred, most of them. Now, there are some tax-free provisions in those as well. There could be, depending on the employer, but most of these accounts you have not paid the tax bill on yet. So when you get into retirement, after you've saved and saved and saved, employer might have matched that money too.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you need that to live off of. So having a game plan of when and how to structure taking the money out of those accounts to minimize and or reduce and eliminate the tax exposure is the key to success in retirement.
How often do you find people are completely overlooking this?
All the time. It's an afterthought for most people. It's the number one expense for most of us in retirement.
Yeah.
It's federal taxation. Now, the state of Florida, it's great. There's no state income tax, but a lot of times we overlook the federal taxation. Now, another thing we overlook in retirement, and especially these accounts, are the fees and expenses that are in those accounts. 401ks can be loaded with costs. IRAs, depending on what mutual fund you're in or what advisor you're working with, can be loaded with costs as well. To know and to have an understanding of what you're paying is key, because if you can reduce and eliminate a lot of those unnecessary expenses, that puts more money in your pocket every year. And if you don't spend that money, it compounds over time to where in retirement, you have the ability to use more of your money.
All right, so Adam, talk me through this then. Let's say you're a pre-retiree, you're a few years out from retirement, you know you need to start planning for taxes. What steps do you take?
Well, you have to calculate it.
Okay.
And so you sit down and you say, okay, how much of each individual asset or income that I have coming into my life to pay my bills, to travel, to enjoy in retirement, how much is that going to cost me in taxes? And over not just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but over your lifetime, there's a mathematical way to calculate that. And if we can reduce that number, which a lot of times we can, it makes sense to do it.
All right, so we're human, we all procrastinate. When is the appropriate time to start this process?
You can start as soon as possible.
Okay.
Most of the time when we're working, we're saving. That's the plan. Save, save, save. Get to the point where we are 5 to 10 years away from retirement. It could be as soon as 30 days away from retirement. I've seen people come in and they say, hey, I want to retire tomorrow. I said, well, maybe we can't have that happen, but give me 30 days, we can have it happen.
Sure.
It's the timing of it. And it's taking what you have saved to maximize and make it the most efficient and to make that money last with the least amount of risk, the most reasonable growth possible, least amount of fees, and the least amount of taxation possible.
Do you find there are a lot of people out there who check that box and they've been working so hard for so many years, they thought they did all the right things, they made those contributions, they saved accordingly, but they left this out of the planning process?
Yeah, all the time, and it's not your fault usually, because it's the way we were told to save. And over the decades of saving, we were told to put money away because in retirement, our tax bill was going to be lower. And that's the case for many people when they go from their peak earning years to their first couple years of retirement. And on paper, they may come down a tax bracket or two, but over time, especially with the way our federal government has run up these significant deficits, they can't be changed. We're running such high deficits that add to the debt. The debt adds to additional deficit because of the interest that we had to pay on this stuff. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, it's costing our government a lot of money. And so if you can get ahead of it by saving taxes and planning to save taxes now for your future, you won't have to worry as much when they end up increasing the tax bills on us.
Last question before we end this conversation today. What do you say to the person who is procrastinating on this?
You got to start now,
Okay.
and you got to go through that process, and you have to find out. It may be the great answer that you were looking for, but if you can get ahead of it now to save money now and in the future, you're going to have more money in your pocket. So starting now is the key.
Adam, always a pleasure. Thank you. And coming up on the Finance Report, planning for the future but living in the present, setting money aside for the different stages of retirement. And up next, David will put Adam on the clock. But first, today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Adam has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. That number, 904-872-6264.
From the couch seat to his feet, it's time for 15 in 15. 15 topics in 15 seconds. Sir, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Question number 1. We want to enjoy our retirement years, but Adam, not like this. It was discovered that the average retiree household spent 111% of its after-tax income. How do we get back on track?
Yeah, well, it's going to cost more at those beginning years of retirement. So having a plan in place to take care of those expenses when we're the youngest, when we're the healthiest, to then down the road have a plan for the long-term expenses as well.
Sure, 111%. That's kind of scary right there. Get that plan in place. Question number 2, taxes can be one of, if not your largest expense during retirement. So can you make your retirement more tax-friendly?
You can, and for most people, having a plan that calculates your tax cost over your lifetime is how you get ahead of that to make decisions now to have that tax bill be lower in the future.
That's what we're looking for. It sounds like an oxymoron, right? Tax and friendly, but it can happen.
Yes.
Question number 3, if healthcare can be an even larger expense than taxes, why are so many people hesitant to engage in that conversation?
Well, it's difficult to talk about long-term care, health care that we're going to need down the road. I mean, most of us don't want to talk about
Sure.
it, because we're looking at our own mortality. And so, but having the questions answered now to get ahead of it is the key.
Yeah, nobody wants to run out of money in retirement either. And healthcare can cost you hundreds of thousands a year potentially. Question number 4, set it and forget it. If someone is basically clueless, uninformed when it comes to their investments and their savings, is that always a bad thing?
It's not necessarily when you're saving for retirement, when
Okay.
you're working, because you're growing, you're putting money in, but as you get to retirement, making sure that through retirement you have a good handle on when you take that money out of your IRAs, when you take the income sources, whether it's the pension, the Social Security, keeping the taxes low, keeping the fees low. that's when it's important to get a handle on it.
Yeah, a lot of different factors to take into consideration. Question number 5, I recently read an article where the advisor being interviewed was saying to stay the course so you can take advantage of the market. Why is this an insincere message for those in or nearing retirement?
Yeah, it's a lazy answer because you need to be watching and managing and monitoring your stuff throughout retirement to have a plan to get what you want to have happen work for you.
Absolutely. And of course, the advisor being interviewed there did this anonymously. Interesting. Maybe they have a conflict of interest with how they get paid, which takes me here to question number 6. Services cost money, but when it comes to working with a financial advisor, what should people expect to be paying?
Yeah, the lowest amount reasonable for the value you get, and that can run the gamut. You want to make sure that you have a full disclosure of the fees you're paying, whether it's mutual fund fees, expenses on annuities, or life insurance that you're paying. If you're getting value for the overall services that are provided, it needs to be fully disclosed to you so you can make a reasonable choice.
Yeah, absolutely, because you want to know how your money's being spent. You've worked that hard for it.
Bingo.
Question number 7, there are financial professionals, and then there are those that help with retirement. Why are financial professionals not always equipped to help those in or nearing retirement?
Yeah, many financial advisors may work with retirement, but that's not what they focus in on. They focus on while you're saving your money, maybe college planning, maybe doing all these different things. We focus solely on retirement because it's the part of your life time of your life where you need to take your money out, be smart with it, reduce the taxation, keep the fees low, and have a reasonable amount of risk to get to and through retirement successfully.
Yeah, if you're in or nearing retirement working with someone that just wants to talk about investments, potentially that means you need to call someone else. Adam Wolf, 7 questions down, 8 to go here on 15 and 15. But first, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Adam has a great offer. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 904-872-6264, 904-872-6264. Keep that clock going. Question number 8, saving up for retirement is one thing, but withdrawing, Adam, you know this, it's another. What do people need to do to determine the optimal sequence to withdraw their money?
Yeah, you have to have a plan. I mean, many people have all these different types of assets. Some are tax-free, some are tax-deferred, Social Security, pension. The timing on an annual basis of when to take those withdrawals and when to take that income is the key to success in retirement.
Question number 9, 401ks became a thing in the 80s, but for some retirees, there can be a quick spin down in those accounts. Why is there such a widespread issue with them?
Yeah, most 401ks are all tax deferred and you haven't paid taxes on them yet. And also a lot of 401ks have limited options for investment, and that may not be appropriate for you as you get into retirement when you're starting to spend this money.
Yeah, pop the hood on your 401k. Question number 10, a recent study focused on Social Security, and it found that 72% of people are fearful the benefits of it won't be around for them. Should they feel this way?
I mean, they might, because the government has even told us that they're going to not have enough money in the future for all of the benefits. So having a plan in place to replace that income, if that happens, is the key.
Absolutely. Question number 11, we want to have a more secure retirement and enjoy our lives. But in your mind, what are the keys to accomplish that?
Yeah, it's taking a look and having on paper a written plan that takes into account all of the risks that you face in retirement, whether it's the running out of money potential, market risk that you want to have the right amount of risk in retirement for, tax risk, the risk of having and paying the least amount of taxes possible over the course of your life, looking at healthcare and long-term care, and then also finally your estate plan, making sure that what you have goes to where you want to go when you're no longer here. That's the key.
Some solid keys right there. Question number 12, no surprise the wealthy are typically more confident about their retirement outlook, but why do you say not so fast? There's plenty you need to be concerned about.
There's a lot of folks out there, whether wealthy or not, that have done a great job in accumulating and saving money for retirement, but they have not gotten to a point to be comfortable spending it and enjoying this money. So that is a lot of times a very difficult task for folks.
Yeah, create a spending plan. Enjoy everything you've worked so hard for. Question number 13, some might believe the way to wealth and success is trusting their gut feeling. How much of a retirement, though, is really based on a good guess that pays off?
Yeah, I mean, the gut is important, but it's not the most important. Having a written plan in place that goes through the key risks to show where your income's going to come from in retirement, from all the different sources that you have, is the success.
Can you imagine sitting across from a financial advisor and says, just guess how we're going to get there. Yeah, trust that. Question number 14, a survey found that some people plan to relocate once they retire. Not to be closer to family, though, but because of lower living costs. They're having to flee. It doesn't always have to be like this, does it?
Yeah, you see that from time to time. It's making sure that your expenses and your budget meet what you have coming in, and then on top of that, looking to enjoy it. And if your enjoyment is moving somewhere else to keep the cost down to enjoy other things, that's appropriate.
Absolutely. Final question of 15 and 15. Some people enjoy putting their money in different pots, lots of different strategies. But what about gold? How about putting a whole bunch of our retirement savings into a pot of gold?
Well, gold can be appropriate, but like everything else, you want to spread your diversification, not put all your risks in one basket. And so gold is a stable source to hedge against future currency that we do use. So gold makes sense, but where it's appropriate.
Absolutely. Adam Wolf. 15 questions up, 15 questions down. Excellent work, my friend. You are off the clock. For those looking to make sure they're on the right track for their retirement, Adam has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. It's a game plan to get you where you need to be. The number to call right now, 904-872-6264, 904-872-6264.
With longer lifespans come longer retirements. So how can you do a better job of planning for the future while truly living in the present? Let's talk retirement buckets. The red buckets behind me we're about to discuss symbolize today, the near future, and years down the road. Adam, before we get started here, tell me why it's important to think about retirement in terms of these buckets.
I mean, there's nothing without risk in life. So I'm going to put no risk all the way over here because everything has some form of risk.
Okay, practically off the board. I like it. Keep going for me.
Yeah, so high risk, that's also another one. I don't think high risk should be in anybody's portfolio as they're nearing or into retirement fully. You may be aggressive in a portion of your portfolio, but high risk, I deem that as speculative. And we want to stay away from speculative things in retirement.
Really important.
When it comes to low risk, I'm going to put it in the middle here, but it is a caveat throughout retirement, having the right amount of risk within your portfolio, and that might be low risk for some people or moderate risk for some people throughout retirement.
So critical. Okay, income, and if you're so lucky, a pension. Talk me through these.
Okay, as you're approaching retirement, a lot of folks don't have pensions anymore.
Yeah.
So, but those who do have pensions have options to either take a lifetime income stream or to roll over those pensions, if it's available, into an IRA that then you can control as you go through. So as you approach retirement, the pension needs to be looked at and monitored, and then as we get to retirement, we need to make that decision to when to take the pension and when to turn the pension on. So income is universal. We should take that throughout retirement because having an income plan that you know year by year, month by month, where your money's going to come from is extremely important.
You find that allows people to spend with confidence in those retirement years?
Yeah, it takes a lot of the pressure off, you know, so you have this stuff, you don't know where to take it and how to take it. Having that plan allows you to do that comfortably.
Absolutely. All right, taxes, so important and yet so frequently overlooked, right?
Yes, taxes are universal throughout. Approaching, early, later.
Recovering the board.
It's extremely important, though, to plan now for taxes so that in the future our tax bills are as low as possible. The government's running up trillions of dollars every year, adding to the debt. It's mounting. The costs of running the government are out of control. Taxes, a lot of people say, will go up in the future. We have to be prepared for that.
All right, a big to be determined on that one. Okay, let's jump to emergency funds and then healthcare.
Yeah, emergency funds are important throughout retirement, but I'll just keep it there for now.
Okay.
We want to have enough to be comfortable with, whether it's at the bank, wherever it is, to be comfortable to know that the liquidity is there if we need to go grab it for the rainy day. Yeah, and healthcare is very important as we approach retirement because we go from our employer's plan onto, if it's prior to age 65, going out and paying for it yourself, whether it's through COBRA or on the marketplace, and then at age 65, Medicare, supplemental plans, advantages plans, they have to be taken into account, and the early retirement piece.
Has to be on our radar for
Yes.
sure. All right, leaving a legacy. Let's go there.
Yeah, legacy, I'm gonna put it in the later in retirement bucket, but being able to plan for it earlier, so all your ducks in a row. Think about your estate plan, where you want your stuff to go when you're no longer here. That's what the legacy is all about, and to set it up efficiently.
And avoid that fight later, of course. Okay, planned expenses, and then jump to long-term care for me.
Yeah, with planned expenses, this can go throughout retirement, but this is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that you've worked your entire life for. It's just planning for it. You know, whether it's that once in a lifetime trip, the RV, cruising, all different types of things can be wrapped up, but planning for it, and it's not really an expense. Think of it, it's the fun enjoyment part of your plan.
Absolutely. All right, long-term care, an important conversation to have.
Yeah, long-term care can be funded in a lot of different ways, but I'm gonna put this way on back and later in retirement, even though we wanna plan for it ahead of time, because you can either pay it yourself, have the government plan, which is Medicaid, or utilize insurance companies to help hedge that cost against those increasing costs later in life if we need them.
A hard conversation to be had, but what I'm hearing is it has to be had. All right,
Correct.
Social Security, close us out.
Yeah, Social Security is a big one because everybody has questions about it, but early retirement, throughout retirement, it's a source of income. We need to make sure we take it at the right time if you qualify for it.
Adam, great information as always. And if you at home want to make sure your retirement buckets are in order, today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Adam has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call right now, 904-872-6264.
Adam, we've touched on the Retire Smart plan today. What exactly does that include for retirees?
Yeah, it's our retirement planning process that we take people through to look at 5 key risks in their retirement. And the first one being the risk of running out of money, an income plan in place year by year to make sure they're getting what they want in retirement. Number 2, the right amount of market risk. Is it too high? Is it too low? Is it right size? We right size it. Number 3, the tax risk, the risk of your taxes exploding in the future because of the way our government spends. Also, healthcare risk, addressing Medicare and long-term care. Finally, looking at your estate plan with what you've accumulated, with what you have, where you want it to go, your legacy when you're no longer here.
And Adam, with all of that in mind, you have something special for our viewers watching at home.
Yes, for the first 5 callers that have saved $500,000 or more for retirement, please give our team a call and we'll put together your very own Retire Smart plan. And we'll do this on a complimentary basis.
A very generous offer. Thank you, Adam. So once again, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Adam has a great offer. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you.
This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call right now, 904-872-6264.